Hello everyone, this is Paul Villalobos, President of Tech Mobile Reviews, and today we're doing a full review on the Nokia Lumia 1020. Now let's start off with the design of the 1020. Now at first glance, it might just seem like every other Lumia device that's out there. It has the same tapered edges, the eye-catching colors. They're all here on the 1020. But if you turn it on the back, we see something really impressive here, and that is the 41 megapixel camera, which protrudes out proudly outward on the back of the 1020. I applaud Nokia for doing putting such a massive camera in a smartphone as thin as it is. You would think it would be rather bulky, but it's not. It's actually incredibly thin. Now, there is some flaws to this big camera hump on the back. It does make handling a little tricky. Your fingers are kind of interfered with the camera on the back. Well, it leads to some uncomfortable handling at times, and it may displease some out there, but this issue is not a major one at all. Now, this 1020 comes in three colors, black, white, and yellow. Our review unit is the black model. The yellow one seems to be the most popular, however. Now, I do have to say that the sharp corners on the 1020 give a bold and almost striking appearance, and I like that. It gives it it makes it more pronounced and more attractable, separating the millions of smartphones that are in the market, giving it that audacious look. And that's what I really liked about the design on the 1020, apart from the big camera hump on the back. Now we move along to the display. We have a 4.5-inch 720p HD display with a resolution of 1280 by 720. Now before we rant off into why this is a 720p display, it should be 1080p. Well, I wish it was 1080p too, but the display is not that bad at all here on the 1020. In fact, it's pretty darn good. Colors are popping out all over the 1020. They look really well saturated. Images, movies, and games did look pretty good, despite the fact that it did look a little less sharp than compared to a 1080p display, but on par, they looked really well. Black levels on here are impressive on the 1020. They rival those of the OLED displays that are on some of Samsung's devices. I thought that was really good. Now, for being a 4.5-inch smartphone, it does seem a little dismal compared to the many 5-inch plus smartphones that are out there. This might be appealing to most people. It does fit comfortably in the hand, and you don't have to reach far and wide for most tasks, so it will surely be a perfect option for those with smaller hands here on the 1020. Now we're moving along to the performance of the 1020, and it comes packed with a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor. Those were back in the days when you had to say a lot to say a processor, and while it might seem old compared to some of today's newer processors like the Snapdragon 800, 801, in my experience with the 1020, it ran really smoothly, and I never encountered any slowdowns or freezes whatsoever during my duration of the device. Rather impressive for being an older processor. Now, multitasking might prove a little trying at times, but day-to-day tasks performed without a hitch on the 1020. Now, in terms of battery life, the 1020 hanged in there pretty good, and it might not get you the extra mile every now and again, but it has some decent battery life. Now, when I had the 1020, I would pick it up at around 7 a.m. in the morning and do social networking, watch some videos, just use the device moderately. When I put it back in at 10 o'clock p.m., I had roughly around 15% left on the 1020. That's pretty good. I mean, it got me through a day with moderate usage. Of course, your battery life does diminish quickly if you use the camera more frequently. When we took the Lumia 1020 out to Descanso Gardens, we used the camera pretty much all day, and we couldn't get past 5 o'clock p.m. and then the battery started dying. So if you're going to use the camera, the battery will go out quickly, but if you use the device more moderately or use the camera less frequently, then you should have no problems with getting at least a day out of the 1020 at least. Now, we know why you're here. You're here for the camera, and the camera on the 1020 is the best camera I have ever tested in the history of my testing of so many devices. This is the only camera that I actually really loved, and the 41 megapixel camera does some impressive work here. Now the camera takes two photos, one at a 5 megapixel resolution and the other at a 34 megapixel resolution. Now, the 34 megapixel has to be taken at 16 by 9 aspect ratio, or it will be a 38 megapixel photo in a 4 by 3 aspect ratio. Now, these photos look absolutely stunning, and I am no photographer by any means, but anyone on this planet can appreciate the incredible attention to detail that on the look of these pictures are just absolutely stunning. I mean, no camera in the market, I think, comes close to the amount of detail, perfect saturation, perfect focus here on the 1020. Now you can see our whole gallery of pictures that we took at in our website on the full written review of the 1020. We took it to Descanso Gardens in Glendale, California. We took plenty of pictures, so we hope you enjoy. Now the 1020 also has two flashes on the back. One is an LED and the other is an xenon flash. Now this translates to some decent pics in lower lit areas. I did find, however, that autofocus at times could take a little more time than other smartphones to focus in more on shots, but as a whole, this camera is more than just amazing. It's fantastic. Last but not least, we're moving along to the software. You knew we were coming here. Now, almost every aspect of the 1020 is pretty solid. Everything except the operating system, which is Windows Phone 8. It's not that Windows 8 is bad, it's quite frankly not there yet. I personally like the Metro UI. I think it's pretty cool that you have live tiles. I like the bright colors that you can choose from and do some little customization on the UI as a whole. But there is one thing that Windows 8 is lacking, and that is applications. Now, we have some big name applications on Windows Phone, thank goodness. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, and in terms of overall amount of apps, it's pretty decent, but it's still not there yet. Windows 8 is severely lacking behind compared to the likes of Android and iOS, who have millions of applications in their ecosystem. Now, we hope that the operating system, Windows Phone, will continue to grow and expand, but until then, Windows 8 is still a fledgling operating system. Now, we don't have Windows 8.1 here on the 1020. Hopefully, that will receive an update in the future. But until then, Windows 8 is still trying to find a balance between the other top dogs of the industry right now. Now, in terms of features that the 1020 comes with software-wise, it is fairly minimal. The live tiles are basically your Google Now, showing your current information or updates. Now, a swipe to the right reveals the app drawer. Again, everything is very simple, very easy to use. Now, the majority of apps can be found in the settings. Now, the settings app is in need of a few changes, I think. It's quite all over the place, in my opinion. But apart from that, you can change the color of the whole OS. There's also a Kids Corner feature that allows you to share apps, videos, and games, basically sharing your smartphone with a kid or a child without having to get into your own profile. Again, this is a great feature for large families and for those who like to share their devices with others. Now, furthermore, you can also change the text size. You can also do some audio settings for your headphones. But as a whole, you do get a nice selection of features, a little bit of customization here on the 1020. The Lumia 1020 got a score of 8.7 out of 10. Now, you can see the full breakdown of that score on our website and the Nokia Lumia 1020 written review. I'd like to thank Nokia PR for sending us the 1020 to review. We absolutely appreciate it. And if you're the kind of person who just loves taking pictures or just looking for a stellar camera that can also double as a smartphone, then the 1020 is definitely for you. Please leave us a comment down below and tell us what you think. Please also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for future content here. And you can also go to techmobilereviews.com for the latest mobile news. I'm Paul Villalobos, and I'll see you in the next one.